So, I thought today I would film a quick video about anxiety and Christmas because Christmas is one of the most stressful times of the year for me. I find it really difficult. I really don't like that everything shuts. I really don't like that the routine isn't normal. I don't like that it just feels quite caved in for some reason for me. However, we have been practicing for about a year now this exact situation. Like, everything's been shut, obviously. Things have been very different. There's been no routine. Things have just been pretty hard. And so I feel like this year I kind of have a one-up in some ways. However, on Boxing Day, Scotland, which is where I am, is going into a 3-week lockdown. So, you know, everything is difficult. The rest of the UK and the rest of everywhere, some people aren't able to see their families at all this year. Things are very difficult and different this year. So I thought I'd make this video more tailored towards COVID and just generally Christmas and anxiety, and hopefully some of these things can help you a little bit. I know this is such a difficult time of the year, and I've deliberately filmed this video not with any Christmas decorations in the background because I just think maybe we can just have a break from that for the next 10 minutes or however long this video is, just to talk about how difficult it can be. It's not easy, and it's not lights and children opening presents and Santa coming. For some people, there's no children in your lives, or you know, there's millions of things that makes this time of the year so difficult. So yeah, let's get into it. The first one I have here is to make boundaries. This is so important for anxious people at all times of the year, especially at this time of the year. People expect a certain amount from people, whether it be presents or you having to be in a certain space, you having to be around people that don't necessarily understand you, you having to eat a certain food, or, you know, so many things are expected of us at this time of year, and it's our job and duty to make sure we are safe in that. I know it's not as easy as that, and there's definitely circumstances that make that so much more difficult. And I'm lucky to be in a situation where I feel safe enough to make boundaries, but generally speaking, you need to be in charge of that. You are in control of this. You are in control of what you decide to eat and how much you decide to eat, whether you're somebody that wants to eat loads on Christmas or not very much at all. You are in charge of whether you want to spend Christmas Day with anyone at all. I know it's not as lucky for that for everybody, and some people don't have a choice whether to spend it alone or with other people. But generally speaking, you are in control of certain aspects of Christmas, and certain aspects of lockdown and what it's going to look like. And so whatever you are able to control, take that on, and really say to the small being inside yourself that feels very anxious and like this is very difficult, please say to it that you're going to hold its hand and look after it, and just be there for yourself. Understand your boundaries, understand what you need. I am giving you permission to make boundaries, and I am telling you and your very little anxiety that feels very scared and anxious, that you are able to control this, and you are able to be there for yourself. You know your boundaries, you know what's going on. Try your best to comfort yourself and kind of wrap yourself in some love and some comfort. The next thing I have is to know other people's schedules. This might be particularly for younger people that are, or whoever that might be still living with family. I found it really difficult when I lived at home, when people would go out suddenly, or I'd suddenly be in the house by myself, or maybe with the pandemic people aren't going out as much and it might not apply, but even things like when my mum and dad were doing the Christmas shopping, or just knowing what other people were up to really seemed to help me. And it helped me, especially on Christmas Day, to know, okay, we're getting up at this time and we're going to open presents at this time and we're going to eat at this time and do this at this time. I like to know exactly what was happening when. And then I could kind of think, well, how do I incorporate self-care into that, and how do I incorporate getting some time to myself within that. I often on Christmas Day would take a really long time to get ready and stuff like that, so that I had some loads of time to myself. You might not have that luxury, but that's one thing as a young-ish person now, that I don't have kids or anything like that, so I can just take loads of time to do my eye makeup or whatever I want to do. Kind of in a similar thing, you don't have to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. If other people are deciding to meet with other people in gardens, whatever, you don't have to do that. And I think it's really important that you stand firm on, again, where your boundaries are. You might feel guilt tripped by other people to be on their schedule, but you need to create your own schedule, and sometimes that involves not always telling the whole truth and saying, oh, I'm busy on this day so I can't do that, or whatever it may be. Or I'm really lucky this year I have a kitten and so I do need to be here a bit more often, and obviously with lockdown I'm going to be here anyway. But it's okay to kind of make things up a little bit so that you feel safe, because you might not be ready to share your anxiety or mental health stuff with people yet, and that is okay. I am the kind of person that I like food a lot, but when it's in a slightly stressful environment or where I'm not feeling completely safe, I find it quite difficult to eat because I've got a phobia of sick. So I like to have little portions, and my family know that, and so they will, you know, not be annoyed if I don't eat all my tea or whatever. And I'm also 24, so I'm allowed to not eat. That is a kind of rule or thing that I have told people about. People know that I'm not going to be eating a lot, and it kind of helps me to know that other people know that as well. You might be somebody that likes to eat on Christmas and that likes to enjoy yourself and that likes to have second helpings and that likes to have some of your selection box or whatever it may be. And other people have opinions on what you eat for some reason, and this is just a tip to remind you that you are in charge of what you eat. There are so many amazing Instagram accounts that I will try and leave some below that are amazing with talking about food. Remind yourself that we are, not only is it Christmas and it's time to celebrate in some ways, we're also in a pandemic, and if you put weight on or you lose weight or all of these things, they happen. And I don't have much experience with eating disorders, but I do know that I am in charge of my own eating, and whatever I feel safe to eat on Christmas Day, I will eat. And if I don't feel safe to eat anything, I'm not going to eat anything. And it's just one day of the year that I allow myself to just not try and fit everybody else's expectations, and I give myself no pressure around food at all. Just making sure that you drink loads of water and stuff like that so that you feel okay, but you know, just pick away or eat loads. You do whatever you want. If family have opinions that they want to share, just try your best to either tell them exactly why those comments aren't okay, or try your best to go back into yourself and reassure yourself, and go onto Instagram if you need to and follow these accounts and look at what they're posting. That seems to really help me. I wanted to say as well, be careful with social media at this time of the year. I like that social media seems to be going in a direction where we do share a bit more about how we're feeling. I think the pandemic's really helped with that. But I think there are going to be people that are sharing gifts, are sharing photos of their family, are sharing all these things when not everybody is going to be having a lovely Christmas. It's just, you know, never the case. Here's Martha to say Merry Christmas and to say, don't let social media make you feel like you're lacking. Don't make social media make you feel like you should be eating more or less, getting more or less presents, be getting better money, being able to support your family more. Whatever it is, social media is not true. And I can think of loads of people right now in my head who post so much, and it's also okay if those people are doing that because they're doing it from a place of insecurity. I'm not trying to say that those people are bad people at all. I know for a certain fact that I've posted things and then like photos of me and Drew, and then we've had an argument like an hour later, and that photo then becomes not as true, if you know what I'm saying. But just remember, there are going to be so many people at this time of the year that are in the exact same boat, especially this year, with so many people not able to see their families and so many things going on. Just remember to be careful with social media. If you're able to put your phone down and that feels good for you, then do that. Otherwise, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that I think are going to be helpful for that are people being more real. So yeah, just be careful with social media, especially right now. And my last point is, this will all end. Pandemic and Christmas. The pandemic's a bit more tough because we have no idea what's going to happen with that. But Christmas, we do know, on Boxing Day it ends. And I kind of, in some ways, this might sound bad, feel like Boxing Day lockdown makes me feel a bit less anxious, because it makes me feel like from Boxing Day and thereon, Christmas is over, and it means that we don't need to mix with people anymore, we don't need to socialise with people anymore. I'm not going to be expected to do any more stuff that makes me anxious. So I do feel like in some ways after the 25th of December that's kind of back to normal. I can't believe this is now normal, but yeah, I do find that helpful. So yeah, I hope some of these things could help a little bit with how you're feeling. This is just a completely, I don't want to say a difficult time because that doesn't even cover it. You know, whatever your situation is, even if things feel really good and you're still able to be with your family and stuff and you're still struggling, that's also okay. And if you can't be with family at the moment, I'm really sorry, and it's really just, it is not good. And I hope some of my videos in the coming weeks can be of some comfort and to make you feel a bit better. Let me know how you're doing down below and what your Christmas plans are. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!